You call it the El Clasico, call it the blockbuster, call it the heartbeater. It lived up to all expectation, and I would probably say that it was one of the best matches this IPL had.
Hello, good evening. We are back here for another edition of Straight Bat with Mr. Cricket UAE and his Sajan. This is Gautam of Gulf News, and with me I've got young Sahil Sajan, one of our cricket enthusiast and expert. First, I would let Anish do the talking about the promotion that we're running so successfully.
Hi, Gautam, and hi, beautiful people of the Gulf News Committee. What a blockbuster game we had. But before I come to that, as always, you need to predict the winner. You walk away with this beautiful jacket, 2 winners every day, and 3 months of subscription.
Yes. So, yes, for that, you need to log on to the Gulf News Facebook page to find out more, predict the winners, and win this lovely jackets as well as subscription, as Anish said. We will quickly get on to the match. As we had been saying that a Mumbai-Chennai contest is always, yesterday only we were discussing that it's the El Clasico of IPL, and it lived up to its billing. So, Anish, what's your take?
Well, you're right, Mr. Gautam. You call it the El Clasico, call it the blockbuster, call it the heartbeater. It lived up to all expectation, and I would probably say that it was one of the best matches this IPL had after the Punjab and RR game. And when these two big teams play, there is fireworks. You saw lots of runs, incredible hitting, and in the end, the mighty Mumbai Indians probably just tipped CSK with a special innings from none other than the great Pollard.
Right. I'll go to Sahil with that. Sahil, given a choice, what kind of a T20 match appeals to you more? I mean, this kind of hitting when you're getting 200 runs almost on a platter, or you would like to see 175, 180 being chased with a lot of thrills? What would you prefer?
Honestly, the first choice, the one where you score more than 200 and, it gets chased down. I think that is a more entertaining for me to watch. I mean, you have everyone. Look, I'm a fan here, so obviously I'm going to talk like a fan because every fan would like to see fireworks of like non-stop sixes and fours in a specific T20 game. So obviously I'd prefer a score which goes over 200 runs. Definitely 200 runs.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, today for a change, Anish, I would like to ask you that today for a change when, Mumbai's best option was chasing. But then I was just wondering that, whether Rohit, got a trick wrong because he had been a bowler short. So he's trying with Jimmy Nisham, who wasn't of much help. Dhawal Kulkarni tried his best. He's got a lot of local experience. So I was thinking that, yes, target of 219 doesn't happen every day. And it was Chennai's best ever against Mumbai. So, do you think it was a single-handed effort on part of Pollard? I mean, he made the difference. Otherwise, they would have still fallen short by around 20 runs in the end, isn't it?
Oh, yes, absolutely, Gautam. In the end, it was definitely a single-handed effort from Pollard, but they got a decent start by the openers where they scored in 7 overs, 70 runs. So the platform was set. In between, they lost a couple of wickets of Surya, as well as then they lost, Rohit Sharma and Quinton de Kock in a heap, and they were 3 down. Then they got a little partnership with Krunal scoring some runs and Hardik also scoring a cameo. But Pollard was like the demolition man, like anything and everything. It all started with the Jadeja over. I still remember in that 13th over of Jadeja, I hit him for 20 runs. 14th over NGD, 16 runs. 15th over of Thakur, 23 runs. Again, Thakur going for 17 in the 18th over and the last over, 16. And there are many matches. There is one match which comes to my mind. He's done it against Punjab at the Wankhede, where they just pull off a hiss. That's what they are known for. They have guys like Hardik, the big boys who can probably steal it from your hands.
Right. And I think that's the specialty about this Mumbai side. For 2 matches now, Rohit had been using Krunal at number 4. Now we would tend to ask ourselves that is Krunal the right number 4 for a heavyweight team like Bombay? But both matches he delivered. So, but one thing I would like to ask you, you see, when, there was a critical moment in the match, the last ball, when Mumbai needed two of the last delivery. So if you look at Dhawal Kulkarni, who was at the non-striker's end, Dhawal had kind of, backed up a couple of paces too many. Now this is becoming a bit of a bit of a common practice. Did you notice that, Anis?
I'm glad, Gautam, you asked this question. You know why? Because there was a lot of hue and cry when Ashwin had bunkered Joss Butler, and they were saying it is not in the spirit of the game, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it was ridiculous. And now, when I saw this last ball, my eyes were actually at the non strikers, and just to see, before the ball was even released from the hand of the bowler, Dhawal Kulkarni was almost at the middle of the ground. That means he has covered half the distance. I don't see any logic in that. I mean, you are like stealing half a run. And don't forget, if the throw was at the non-striker's end and have Dhawal not taken the start, he would have been run out. So at
Yeah.
this stage, you are like, I should not be using the word cheating, but this is default and shouldn't be allowed. The moment the umpire sees that the bowler, the non-striker has, backed out of the crease, he should immediately say,
Oh.
sorry, this is not allowed. And
Hmm.
maybe they have to come into the law so that, like how you are allowed, when a bowler bowls and his hand hits the stump, it's given a no ball. In this way, they have to give a penalty to the opposition because this is like stealing a run. I don't think this player would have reached the non-strikers and had it been taking a normal start. Or you allow the bowler to do a muncut. But if you
Yeah,
do a muncut, then you say it's against the spirit. I'm sure
right.
Sahil can add this. Sahil?
Yeah, I absolutely agree. It should not be allowed. Like even when I was seeing Dhaval, he took a heavy start. I mean, you cannot expect the bowler to have an awareness. The bowler is under complete pressure because two runs of one ball, so the bowler will not realize that Dhaval has taken a huge start. It's the umpire's job to see that. So I definitely agree that you're not allowed to take a massive start.
Right. Yeah, I mean, very, very strong but very pertinent words. Now, moving on, Anis, I would like to ask you that, in the number of matches that is now left on the Delhi wicket, I mean, what is a pass score, or what should be the bowler's, approach to the game? Because so far, one line of defense had been taking the pace of the ball, but nothing would work if you are pitted against this kind of hitters. So, what would a bowler do? What would be your advice?
Well, I'm again glad you asked me this question, Gautam, because when you say that if you cannot defend 220 runs, then your execution is wrong. That's what MS Dhoni said, that if you are trying to execute something and you are not able to deliver that. So what a bowler can do, like you said, that if you take off the pace, still guys like Pollard will go after you because they have got such a big reach. Now, it's easy for us as an armchair expert that you could do that or you could do this, but I would still say that probably bowling wide Yorkers is the best way, wherein
Hmm.
you do not give him that room. Obviously, wide Yorker, you give him the chance to swing his bat, but giving him that bowling him that wide Yorker is the best option. Or bowling is right on the pads and make sure that you give him that feel. Because
Right.
when you are bowling the wide Yorker, there is a chance he might stick and it goes over the. If you keep a short third man, and if you see the last over bowled, it was a fantastic Yorker bowled the first ball, and he sneaked out and it went. But still, that is still okay. But you bowling full tosses, I can understand because of the dew. But then you have to practice. Yorkers come with practice, and the best ball in this cricket is the Yorker.
Okay, yeah. And actually, Sam Curran showed the way somewhat because he kept Pollard quiet in the previous over a couple of times. Yes. Okay, now quickly moving on. Once again, it's a double-headed day tomorrow, Sunday, and we there had been a coup quite silently which took place. You had spoken about it in the pre-match analysis. So keeping in tradition with IPL of not being tolerant about captains who are not performing unless David Warner's decision. It was a voluntary decision. So we have got Ken Williamson coming up tomorrow. But will a change of captain only help Sunrisers Hyderabad, or I see a strange attitude on part of the management Sunrisers had been quite a discreet management. They didn't believe in knee-jerk action. So what happened this time, Anis?
Well, I could see the writing on the wall for Warner the moment he made a statement about Manish Pandey being axed or not given an opportunity. Because I believe the pressure came from the top management. We wouldn't know who it has come from. And that is why he languished out his anger or frustration of Manish Pandey being left out. Secondly, in the last match against Chennai, where he scored a 50 odd, but it came off 50 balls on a wicket which Chennai already easily scored it, he took the blame of himself. So all this boiled down to the
To
management
the
taking a
pressure.
call.
Mm.
Yes, that Mr. Warner, it's time for you to go because the results don't show in your favor where they're languishing at the bottom with 6 matches and only 2 wins. And they were looking at for an opportunity and they got that one opportunity and they said, Mr. Warner, would you like to step out? And Williamson was ready to take it. And I'm afraid changing of captainship in the middle of the tournament gives you a wrong signal. And pairing with Rohit Sharma, who took it, that also, mind you, it was Ricky Ponting in 2013. I don't know whether it was an injury, but he said, I am injured. And they handed over the captainship to Rohit Sharma, and rest is history from there. But I don't believe, I'm not a believer of changing captains unless he's injured. And this will not go down. Williamson is not having a magic wand that is going to come and change the fortunes of SRH.
But one thing it might do, I mean, normally you make that guy a captain who is assured of his place in the playing 11. I mean, that is why in the first place, when Warner came back after serving his ban, he was made the captain at the expense of, I mean, it has become a kind of musical chair. He was made the captain at the expense of Williamson. Now, if so, that allows the management to make him sit in the dugout for a few matches and try out a few other things. So Jason Roy is still there in the team. Do you see any changes, any radical changes coming up there?
200% Jason Roy will play the next match, which is happening tomorrow, I guess, and Warner will be sitting down. I mean, if I know my cricket well, but I'll be very honest, on a lighter side, my predictions on the IPL matches have all gone berserk. Like yesterday, I said Punjab will lose, RCB will win, Punjab won. Day before yesterday, just to be showing my heart and soul towards my Owen Morgan, I said KKR will win, and they were hammered by Delhi. And today, I had all my backing towards CSK, and then Pollard came and I should say Pollard and Mumbai Indians did a heist. So let's not talk about my predictions. You never know what happens in IPL. IPL is strange. Strange things happen. Expect the unexpected.
That's true. Before wrapping up, I'll come to Sahil. Sahil, the second game of the day, it's a North Indian derby. Punjab Kings versus Delhi Capitals. Now, Punjab did well to win the previous match, but so what kind of a chance do you give them against Delhi? I mean, Delhi are a much more well-rounded team after all.
Equal, it's an equal chance because I actually like the lineup which the Punjab Kings brought against the RCB. That is actually a good lineup. You know, you could see they had some bowlers who bowled well. I mean, yeah, Harpreet bowled exceptionally. I mean, he worked out well, but will he work out next game? You know, let's see about that. But it's an equal chance. I'm not going to say Delhi are favorites. No way. It's an equal chance for sure.
Yeah,
but is CSK now favorite, Sahil? I want to ask him. He's also unhappy today. He's happy actually. I don't know. What is he? Is he happy or not, Gautam? I don't know.
No, I think there is no reason to be unhappy. I mean, it was, ultimately with this kind of little margin of error for the bowlers. I mean, CSK still maintained. Look at the way they're batting. There have been 3 half centuries, and a very redeeming feature had been the power hitting from Ambati.
Right.
I mean, so often he's got the flag for not being able to push along things. So things are looking good for CSK. I mean, this kind of a match, there would always be 2 to 3 matches like this in an IPL league stage we have seen. Anyway, two quite intriguing clashes coming up tomorrow, and we'll keep our eye as to how Ken Williamson marshals his resources. He did that well in those 2 years when he was captaining. Wishing the teams all the luck. And we sign off once again, telling the readers to log into the Gulf News Facebook page and take part in our competition for the attractive prizes in store. Thank you. Good night, and see you tomorrow.
Thank you.